Well, this is all I've got left brewing now, is the mead and the red wine. And we still have a big stash of kits yet to brew. Let's get on with the rest of it. Well, it's another Homebrew Wednesday. Another one to chalk up. So, not much been happening, unfortunately. I have bottled my experimental ale and my last batch of cider. The other one has been, I think, 2-3 weeks now, which was my apple juice one. I did do a couple in clear bottles just so you can see what's going on. I'll put this is the one I've done with my own apples and some juice. I have tried one. Did carve them in the bottle. Could do with a little bit longer. I haven't tried another one since, but it's been a week. As you can see, it's pretty clear. I did use findings in that one because it was quite cloudy. Looked more like a traditional scrumpy. The other one I've done was just a straight cheapo Asda juice. You can see there's a bit more darker colour. That's only been in the bottle. You see there's a little bit of sedimentation. Again, I've bottle primed those to give them a little bit of carbonation. The experimental ales are fairly dark and cloudy. I have put findings in them, but there's still a little bit of a hue on the liquid, which I don't think is going to go due to the nature of the additives I've used to give it the flavour. We did try the remaining base of the demijohn's contents in a trial jar, and you can, well, my wife spotted it more than I did, but your palate seems to quickly match the taste, or acclimatise to the taste, for the want of a better description. If you have a little break from it and then go back to the beer, you sort of get this bitter hit, and the flavour comes straight through from what I've put in it. But we'll see what comes out. I don't think these are going to be conditioned in the bottle long enough. I would like to possibly put these into Uncle Jonah's one kit challenge. I know technically it wasn't a kit, it was a jar. But we'll see. I don't think I'll miss the boat on that one, but brew front wise, that's about it. The mead's still going, the wine's just about played out, that's ready for some stabilising in Camden. Brew wise, I've been called into work 5 days a week rather than my normal 3. A lot of work. I'm more or less finished up at the house. They're getting busy for Christmas. Tons of stock. Literally, I've spent the last 2 days moving 23 tons of Belgian beer from pallets onto shelves. So my body's telling me I've moved 23 tons of beer. And what better way to rest those weary muscles and aching joints than with another beer. I'm going to leave Sean's brewing shed beers for another week, just to let them settle out. They have, can't see in that one very long, but they have dropped back down, but I did shake them up because I've had a little shift around with the beer crates, and so I'll leave them. But I thought, it seems this one generated a bit of interest the other week. Our JW Buddies bourbon flavoured with a hint of honey. A couple of the guys did comment on liking it and disliking it, with it being far too much honey flavour. It's 5.1%. It's an American beer in as much as it looks like an American beer. It's in an American stylish bottle with an American stylish label, so you'd think it was an American beer, except it's the recipe's brewed under license in the UK, so it's about as American as I am. Golly gosh. So we'll crack that one open. I've also tried this one, Maple Gold by Joseph Holt. Flavoured with maple. Not that I could tell, I'm not really a big maple syrup user. But the hops seem to take away any detectable note for me personally of any sweetness or tang from maple. It's supposed to be genuine Canadian maple syrup that they use. It was a hoppy pale ale. Not dissimilar in sort of hop, not the same hop taste as this, but about the same whack factor of hoppiness as Golden Hen, which is obviously a sister brew to Speckled Hen by Moreland aka Green King. But let's crack on. I was planning, had I not been at work this week, getting me propane ordered and getting that ready for another all grain batch. I've got to have a little shift round in the shed before I can have enough room to actually perform one. But if not, as you can see, I've still got plenty of kits to do. Well, there was a bit of a head forming with the fizz, the carbonation coming up. It's a straight glass. Seems to be more carbonated, like a lager. You get the head form from the carbonation, which quickly disappears. There's definitely a bourbon note about it, and that flavour, or the smell you get from honey as well, which is killed off as soon as the carbonation's died down. I can't hardly smell anything bar honey now. It smells not quite as pungent as when you open a jar of honey, but as you can see, the head has pretty much disappeared. It's a sort of standard amberish pale ale type colour. Not much on that note, just the honey. A bit like that sort of honey syrup you used to have for sore throats, with a dash of whiskey in it, which is what I used to have when I was little. Whiskey and honey. None of this crap from the chemist. But yeah, that's all I'm pulling off. Whoa. Yeah. Tastes like watered down honey. Not hugely sweet, but most of the profile is honey flavoured. Not getting anything off that initial smell of the bourbon when it was gassed. You can get a slight little sort of whiskey tang from the bourbon. I don't know whether they actually use real bourbon or whether this is bourbon flavoured, so whether they're actually using the real stuff or whether they're just using a you know, a liquid essence similar to what you'd buy out of your bakery section in your local supermarket. Methinks probably that's what they're doing. Quite a bit of honey, probably late addition. As you know, if you put honey in the boil, you boil off the flavours. But I can't really say I can compare it to something like honeydew or sunnydew, whatever it is. And there is a sweetness from honey, but not overpowering. But it's sort of like the reverse of what you get from hops, with that sort of tang you'd get from hops. Instead of having hops, you're getting a tang from honey. But it does taste sort of getting that sweet bitterness that you get from honey that's been watered down. But, I suppose it's a novelty tasting beer, not something you're going to go and rush out and buy. Probably something you might, if you had a party, you'd buy a few just to let people try them and see what they think. But there's no mouthfeel to the beer. It's very thin and watery. And that's about it. It's not really, I don't grade beers, but or rate them, but if I was to rate them, it wouldn't be high on the scale. I think probably if you put a shot of whiskey in, it might sort of give you that little tang that it's lacking, really, considering this sort of big word saying bourbon flavoured beer with a hint of honey. Well, I definitely would say it's the reverse. It's a honey flavoured beer with a hint of bourbon. But me thinks it definitely needs something else with a little more bite. Hang on. Let's just try something for the sake of pleasing the consumer right there. Back, we just done a quick Mrs. Norfolk taste test. She likes it, obviously, because it tastes like honey. And we know what women are like with sweet things. But I've just chucked a shot of Bell's in it. So if any of you guys have bought one, put a cap full of Bell's whiskey in it. Or whatever whiskey you happen to have. I happen to have Bell's whiskey because someone gave me a half bottle. Yeah. Now it's got the actual bite it should have. So, Mr. JW Buddy, put some bourbon in your beer. Okay, well, I don't know. That's it. It's going to be a short one. I ain't got nothing else to tell you. I used my bottle cap here, my new one, my hand job. You know what it is with hand jobs. It worked. Better than the other one which broke the bottle tops. But yeah, we are getting dangerously low on beer supplies. I've took to finishing off some of me pumpkin ales because they're getting a bit astringent now. They've been bottled since I think February time. Pumpkin ones don't seem to be quite as bad, but there aren't many of them left. But I'll try one and see what they're like, because I'm obviously trying to save or build some stocks up to send some beer mails out to some of you guys. But that is it. Until I brew again, as they say. We'll brew again. I will brew again. One day. But not this week, because I'm too friggin' busy. Because tomorrow I've got to move some international beers, and the day after that the German beers come in. So I'm busy all this week moving tonnages of beer. So I might have a little food Friday night if I get time. I'll do a bit of fun Friday. I don't usually because I don't get time. I get home, but that's sort of 7 o'clock at night. But it seems I'll be at the warehouse this week. I'll be able to leave earlier. So you never know, you might see my ugly mug on the YouTube twice in one week. Poor buggers. Anyway, that's the dog just shaking himself. Catch you next week. Bye!